Greetings, I'm Reverend John O'Toole. Welcome to episode number 33 of the FaerySpeak, the show in which the fairy will speak for both you and me at the same time. Isn't that amazing? You could watch this show in 10 years and it might still be speaking to you. Perhaps the information may be more connecting as it was before. So feel free to go back to some of the other episodes. This is episode 33. You have 32 other episodes you could watch of the FaerySpeak. Plus I have meditation videos, cooking shows, growing microgreens, working on the computer. I'm kind of an all-American, all around, I'm a well-rounded person. Well-rounded person. I better start the clock. There we go. So, we shall see where we can do this time around. How are we doing here? Do we look good? This looks great. So, as I asked for all newcomers to the show, do you know what your fairy looks like? Now, maybe not everybody has a fairy. Although, I would think that if you don't have a fairy, you're probably not watching this show. Because you're only really interested in this metaphysical side. So here we are. In your mind's eye, you might have an image of an energy that you seem to have around you most of the time. Maybe it's just a color. Maybe it's a crystal that you always find that you're attracted to. I'm particularly fond of amethyst and rose quartz. Not that I'm partial, but I do like those. My skull here, one of my skulls is a black onyx, and the other one is a quartz crystal. I have a green one that's, I think it's jade, but it is elusive at the moment. So I don't know exactly where they are. Crystals do have a tendency. Some people do believe that crystals are their own energy. And they have their own personality. So maybe the fairy or that you relate to has a crystal form. So, in your mind's eye, you can draw your fairy. Now, I have a card up there, and it is representing where you could draw it, but you can just use a piece of paper. Just don't do it on your tablet or your computer. You know, use your hands if you can. You know, unless that's how you communicate. Using a computer and a tablet because you have some shortcomings, then, you know, that's okay. I suppose it really doesn't matter how you do it because you're going to be creating it out of your own imagination. So I guess it's okay to use a tablet or a computer or a paintbrush or, you know, whatever works for you. So we're going to pick some cards today. Today is the 13th. Tomorrow is Flag Day in the U.S. And it's a beautiful day. It was supposed to be raining this weekend, and it ended up being sunny. But it is a nice day. So we're going to draw 6 cards, and we're going to see what happens with those cards, and that's going to determine where we're going to go today. Seems like each month or every episode we seem to progress in some direction that's tied to the shows before. So you could watch shows randomly and get something out of them, or you can watch them in succession and continue to move along in a certain pace. So let's see what we're going to do. We are going to take this one, that one. How about that one? How about I drop the whole deck? So make it a little harder to pick them. And this one, we've got 5, and we're going to go for this one. There we go. Oh. Even though I just threw them down, I still managed to keep track of the order. Does it matter? Should we pull? I hardly ever pull them in order. Why don't you say we pull them in order today? Wouldn't that be a real funny thing to do? Okay, so I'm going to take this one and put it over here. There you go. This is like my pyramid, which is a selenite crystal. I wanted a really tall one, and it looked pretty tall on eBay, but it wasn't tall when I got it in the mail. But it works, because if it was this tall, it wouldn't have fit on the camera. First one. Oh, a very pretty card. Lady of the Forest. Number 18. Lady of the Forest. Very pretty card. Number 18. You know, I don't think I've pulled this card in quite some time. Somebody might be checking. But by the way, this card was in reverse. Like so. Does it seem like you see something there that you didn't see vertically? Number 18, Lady of the Forest. I don't really recall pulling this card for some time. Completion, grief, loss, harvest, and release. I'm sorry, it's Lady of the Harvest, not Forest. Which explains I definitely haven't pulled this card for some time. Completion, grief, loss, harvest, and release. Kind of think that when you go out to harvest the crops of the garden, you're picking all that vegetables and fruit. Some people say that when you pull a carrot out of the ground, the carrot is screaming. And I would imagine when you cut things off the vine, there's some screaming too. If you were growing on a vine, you'd scream. But this card was in reverse. Refuse to accept a loss. Cling to outgrowing pains, trauma, and limiting ideas. Refuse to accept a loss. Cling to outgrown pains, traumas, and limited ideas. Well, how interesting is that? Now we might have to pick a few cards to see where the flow is going. So let's see the next one. The next one is the Oak Man, number 47. Number 47. This is Oak Man. Interesting. How many times have you walked through the forest and saw an image in a tree trunk? It's an amazing experience. Now you're going to start looking at trees. They're going to go to the park tomorrow and look at a tree, and you're going to look, and you're going to look, and you're going to say, "Hello, tree." So this was in reverse. Now I see a face in there in reverse. Do you? It's not a magic eye. There we go. The Oak Man. Strength, ancient wisdom, and depth. Strength, ancient wisdom, and depth. But this one was in reverse. What is your perception of this image? Strength, ancient wisdom, and depth. And you turn the card over. And I see a different expression. What do you see? I'm going to turn it over and put it in the here. What do you see? Our next card, number 59, the Bodacious Product. which happened to be vertical this time. It's a good thing because I don't know what that image is. He's on the ceiling. Is there a fly on the ceiling? Or a spider? Bodacious buttock. Number 59 if you're following at home. Meddling, tampering, sabotage, and helpful fixing. So that's kind of interesting. Sabotage, tampering. This is about other people that are getting involved in your life. Have you had people messing with your life lately? Trying to manipulate you into believing in something that doesn't exist? I could go on and on if I just looked at the news. But why bother? Because you're looking at the same news that I'm looking at. So it's all up to the interpretation. So our next card is the Piper. That one down. There's the Piper. But this one was in reverse. Like so. Now it's interesting that this card follows the card before it. I guess what I'm thinking about is that fairy tale where the piper walks down the street and the rats or the children follow along to the playing of the music. Not that children and rats are the same. Don't get me saying that. I was just thinking about those kind of stories in my head when I was looking at the card and thinking about the card before it. Because the last card was about being manipulated by others and following them because it's what the status quo is. If someone says the sky is red when it's actually blue, and somebody gets up on a stage and convinces everybody that the sky really is red because they've handed out a bunch of rose-colored glasses, and everyone's looking up and saying, oh, you're right, the sky is red. And then somebody takes their glasses off and they say, oh, wait, the sky is actually blue. And that person is ostracized and kicked out of the group. The piper. I don't remember the orientation. Did I say that it was in reverse? Music, order, harmony, seduction, and empathy. Someone is memorized, lost in a dream, stagnating, so vague and diffuse? Well, it would have to have been in reverse, because that would actually make sense. But even if it was a vertical card, music and order and harmony and seduction. The seduction part is convincing you that the sky is red when it really is blue. Kind of a mischievous definition when it kind of can be looked at the same way in either direction. Most interesting. So our next card is a singer card. Now the singer cards, I believe, are related to the chakra system. The singer of intuition. There you go. Now the chakras, you all know what the chakras are if you watch my videos, or if you're into metaphysics, you know that you got the crown chakra. That's how to do this. Oh, we'll do it this way. I'm going to put it, here's the print card. But this card was in reverse. So I just wish to show you in reverse on the stand. Hang with me for a minute. Chakra system, crown chakra up here. Crown, you know, no pun intended. Third eye, center of the forehead. Throat chakra, heart chakra. Solar plexus is the tummy, sacral is down further, and then the root chakra is down below the torso. So if you look at this picture here, 7 chakras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But a lot of that energy, all this commotion on the card, is in the center chakras. So if you look at it from this perspective, you've got the crown, the third eye, and the throat, and the heart chakra. Then the solar plexus, and the sacral and the root are all in this ball of energy. It's not a ball of energy, but you can see all that energy. I think that's what's causing a certain amount of blockage. So this card, and because of that, you don't have the flow of energy going down to Mother Earth. So that's what I'm looking at, the card. And what do we have the card saying? The singer of intuition, perceptionness, oracle powers, awareness, trust. Oracle powers, which would be this up here. But this card is in reverse. How can you learn to be quiet within yourself, more peaceful? How can you listen better to the song of knowledge and wisdom? Is the sky red or is the sky blue? Is the guy playing the flute going to draw you into the river? Are you going to follow the piper and what they say instead of using your own wisdom and voice to say what you believe? That because you have used your own brain to assess the situation and have made a decision, maybe not a judgment. I almost said judgment, but not really a judgment because that's putting a skew to it. But using your wisdom to make a choice of about a path to follow. You come out of your house saying, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? And you see all these people following a flute player. And you say, huh, I know what's at the end of Main Street, and it's not Main Street again. It's a river. A boat landing makes you go right in there right easy. I'm not going that way, I'm going the other way. Interesting. Don't you think? A bunch of random cards actually kind of flowing together. Oh, look. I haven't pulled this card for a very long time. Do you see what we have? Is it in the camera view? It is in the camera view. So you see what we have. We have the Topsy-Turvy card. Number 51. The Topsy-Turvy card. Now this is the Topsy-Turvy card. Check this out. How did I pull that? Yeah, okay. Check this out. Now look at it. Now look at it. Now look at it again. It's a kind of a clever card. It's your way you look at it. You see faces. This card was in reverse, which is interesting. And it's the last card that we're pulling today. The Topsy-Turvy. The Topsy-Turvets. Like quartets, except they're turvets. Change of viewpoint, a fresh look, new ways of seeing. Change your perspective is the reverse, which bows back to the card before. Do you follow the piper? Do you follow the preacher that may not be telling you the truth just so that you could feel as part of the group? We are all individuals. You and me, and you and you and you and you and you. Everybody out there are all individuals. We're not all as one. We're all on Earth. We're all in a certain country. We're all in a certain state, we're all in a certain town, we're all, in a certain place at the same time, in a building or a crowd or watching a TV program or whatever, but we're all individuals. And we deserve to consider ourselves as individuals than going along with the status quo because you don't want to be feeling a part of being left out. What did my mom used to say to me? A number of other people. Well, if he jumped off a bridge, would you jump with him because he said so? Well, is there water under the bridge? Am I going to have a soft landing? No, what if it was 100 feet high? Would you still jump off the bridge? I guess I wouldn't jump off the bridge if it was 100 feet high. And at that note, until next time, and what does Simba say? He says the fairy speaks for you and you and you and me. Ta-ta.